weather. We experience its effects daily, and it is perhaps the most commonly used topic for small talk. In a nutshell, it is the condition of the Earth's atmosphere at any given time. As the weather becomes more extreme and affects everything on this warming planet, it is a fundamental question to ask. What do we really know about the weather? What can we learn apart from our daily embodied experience and watching weather forecasts, reaching us through a vast apparatus of sensing machines, databases, and prediction models? Amsterdam-based Fiber Festival organized an international meeting place for artistic researchers as part of the ongoing Reassemble Lab. Weatherscapes brought together makers and thinkers working on collaborative research, fieldwork, data, and the development of prototypes for new works.
Weather literacy, our concern with it might be how to generate new forms of understanding and knowing what weather is and how it affects bodies.
Weather literacy, I guess, is a matter of literally vocabulary to me. So you can care more about things, you can understand things better if you have the words to describe things more specifically.
I think it's very important that we could see also in the field trip in KNMI that it really helps public to understand the significance of climate change.
We need to reconsider what weather literacy means in the future.
It's also a step towards climate literacy, so that we are more aware of what our actions do to people's weather in the Southern Hemisphere.
Through fieldwork, studying meteorology sensors and data infrastructure, and meeting climate and weather scientists at the Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute, the project explored ways in which art and science can meet.
It was snowing more than it had done in the last 2 years on our visit, so that was a nice coincidental encounter.
Back in the lab, all participants worked closely together and explored different research directions, from the visualization and sonification of weather data to the history of meteorological technology and its connections to military and financial spheres. In what ways can data and models be materialized and made sensible in valuable ways?
The main reason I am interested in working with this lab is because of a project I was working on the year before, where I built an instrument for sonifying the movement of airborne particles, living matter moving in the air, that was originally inspired by an article I read published by the KNMI about how a Sahara sandstorm had brought an influx of not only sandover but also new species of butterflies to the Netherlands. So in this lab I'm bringing the data from places like the KNMI that we visited into this research, this very analog process I've developed, applying the modelling and the data collection on top of this project and seeing what kind of layers this brings. This idea that there is living matter being moved around in global weather systems.
Datasets, such as those from the KNMI and from our own weather station attached to the facade of A-Lab, were accessed and explored through creative coding methods.
So I think we're particularly interested in finding ways of visualizing wind,
where airflow and capital flow intersect.
And we began with a case study about the transatlantic slave trade and how insurance companies were insuring this passage depending on the strength of the wind. And now we want to expand to how wind is a vector of habitability or uninhabitability. So what is carried in the wind and what is the weight of this wind rather maybe than its speed.
My practice of sensory solidarity helps participants step back from their actions and experience kind of micro-utopian instances of sensory autonomy in weather.
We done a project on integrated assessment models, which are sisters or brothers, some relative of climate models, but that consider also human behavior and mainly economic activities.
Collectively, the aim is to contribute to weather and climate literacy, with artistic prototypes making different dimensions of weather accessible for a wide range of individuals. Fiber is developing a dossier compiling observations and results from the lab for anyone wanting to know more about weather, climate, and meteorological knowledge to contribute to the question: when we look up into the sky, do we have an understanding of its composition, scale, history, and interactions with the world we live in?